So basically with this tool called Burp Suite, I'm going to basically be able to modify requests being sent to a web application. So in this particular lab provided by TryHackMe, I'm provided with a web application. And basically what I'm doing is I'm checking for vulnerability. And in this particular lab, the vulnerability is going to be a reflected cross-site scripting attack. So basically, if we go to the target tab in Burp Suite, and again, this is the bash dashboard for Burp Suite, and this is the community edition, like I said, so it's missing some features, but nonetheless, it still provides us with some pretty cool information. So I'm going to go back to target, and we see that there is a bunch of different vulnerable web application that can be detected with Burp Suite. There's a bunch here. We see that they're categorized high to low to medium, and it also has like a type index. So in our case, I'm going to be looking at a reflected cross-site scripting, and it provides a description, remediation, references, typical severity, and then type index. So basically, what makes a web application vulnerable to a reflected cross-site scripting attack is when it does not perform or provide form validation. So basically, it allows someone to input any type of information into a form field, let's say where it asks for a username and password. Let's say an attacker wants to check to see if, like what I'm about to do in this video is basically check for proof of concept. So if it does not provide that form validation, somebody could type in anything other than what is being asked. So let's say they're asking for a username and password or an email. So instead of putting an email, obviously first name, last name at so-and-so.com, you put in some JavaScript. And what makes it successful is the website is not actually validating that that is actual email. Instead, it's just, okay, we're going to take you for your word and we're going to allow you to input that into the form field. And that could be very severe. There's also the stored cross-site scripting, which is a little bit more detailed. Obviously, both of these are cross-site scripting, but in this particular one, we're going to be focused on reflected, which is a little bit more common. I think I'm pretty sure reflected is more common because it's you have to do certain things. Obviously you're going to have to send this website to a victim via email. So it's obviously going to have some phishing needed. Phishing email is going to be needed to be sent out in order to initiate this actual attack. But in short, this is what this attack is basically going to try to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the vulnerable web application and see if we can get a proof of concept. We have our Bastion hosting web application here. It's a TryHackMe created web application, so obviously it's going to have flaws in it. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to click around, and I have Burp turned on with the Foxy proxy tool. So basically with Burp turned on, as you can see, I'm going to click here and I'm not going to really get anything. It's not going to change until I actually forward it, because that's what Burp Suite is doing. It is basically, it's not going straight to the server. So let's say I'm just a client here. I'm just a user that's trying to access the website. I'm clicking here and I'm expecting to get a response from the Bastion hosting web server, but instead Burp Suite is sitting in the middle and is like a proxy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click submit a ticket, and I'm going to go back to Burp Suite. And here I'm going to go to proxy, and I'm just going to start forwarding to see if I get anything, any type of different traffic. So now we see get ticket. So where the page that I was on was submit a ticket. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back here, and I'm actually going to try to submit a ticket. So go to your browser. I'm going to, okay. So actually I need to keep forwarding it some more. So until it actually takes me to submit a ticket. So just keep doing it. All right, so it should now take me here. So here I'm at the support page where I can actually submit a ticket. And this is probably a green light here now, because before on the home page, it was just a bunch of tabs that I could click. But here actually now an attacker could start to input some type of information here. So it's going to ask for contact email. But one thing to point out here is that obviously with JavaScript, you're going to start with the script tag, the opening and closing script tags, script, and close it out. So one thing that this website does to try to mitigate any type of bad or malicious scripts, other than like the @ symbol, see the @ symbol stays. But if I was to try to start a JavaScript code here, it'll just take it away. It's just blocking it out, or any other thing other than the @ symbol. It's just taking it out. It's automatically taking it. The and is going to stay because it's obviously an email has to have the @ symbol, not the and symbol. But if I try to do this, it won't do it. It won't do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to enter in an actual email. So I'm just going to do an email. And I'm just going to type a random comment here. So now I'm going to do is I'm going to submit the query. So this is the email. This is the actual email. So this is where Burp Suite is so sweet. No pun intended. So I'm going to submit query. And now I'm going to go back here to Burp Suite. And now I'm going to forward it until I see that traffic with the username. And here it is, Timmy3000 gmail.com. And then you see the content is Timmy3000 loves hacking. So now, as in with Burp Suite, I can actually modify the request. So this is Timmy saying that he loves hacking. So he's on the website saying he loves hacking. He made that comment. So what we can do now is basically input. So we can input some JavaScript here. Now, like I said, this is not malicious JavaScript code. This is just basically a proof of concept to see if if it reflects back, then we know. If this alert successful XSS, if this alerts us back, that's basically what it is. So we have our script tag opening, and obviously the alert function. And then here we have our string successful XSS. And then we have our closing. That's basic JavaScript right here. So I'm gonna copy this, and we're gonna input it here and click paste. And now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna forward it. And now I'm gonna go back to here to the website and query submitted. So I'm gonna close out. So actually what I'll do, I'll actually have to do this again because that was not the latest one. So I'm gonna do Timmy 2000 again, and I'm just gonna do it again. Timmy loves hacking. Let's try it again. And then we see our burp here. We got an alert from the burp. So let's go back and let's see, forward. And then we'll see query submitted. So we'll do it one more time. Hacking. So we'll submit the query. And now I'm going to take this out and I'm going to input that. I'm going to input this with JavaScript. And then I'm going to forward it. Let's see. So now let's go back here to apps. And it's still not going. So let's keep forwarding it. Let's forward it a few more times and it should There we go. So now we get successful cross-site scripting. And that was basically the JavaScript that we entered. So now as an attacker or as a penetration tester, I know that this application does not provide actual form validation. And the penetration tester basically was able to, with Burp Suite, modify the email and input this into it with Burp Suite, even though the website blocked it. So this is what we get. So obviously this was the name of the alert, successful XSS, and that is exactly what we got here with our JavaScript.